Good afternoon, this is Erick Markland with the Markland Designs of Atlanta, and I'll be doing yet another slideshow video on this beautiful 2016 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited. So the client came to me looking for an audio upgrade. She definitely was not satisfied with the audio as far as the clarity and the sub bass, and we all know that Jeep Wranglers are known for having a very bland sound factory. Also, she wanted some more modern necessities like Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and Bluetooth. So I was able to come up with a nice package that would provide all of those necessities that she needs, and also to give her the sub bass that she wanted. One of the key things that she did want was a subwoofer enclosure that was very low profile, very out of the way, but also easily removable. So I was able to do that as well. Starting at the source, here you can see the factory head unit. Like I said, it has no modern necessities, no Apple CarPlay, no Android Auto, no Bluetooth. So that was pulled out. We pulled the dash on Jeep Wranglers 1,000 times, so that was very easy. Only thing we had to really assess behind the radio was whether it was factory amplified or not. We realized it was not factory amplified, so we went with the PAC-Audio interface. Here you can see everything wired up. Everything is soldered, shrink tubed, and spirally wrapped in tester tape. I prefer the spiral method just because it allows it to be serviceable a lot easier instead of just having to pull a whole bunch of tape off to check any wires or diagnose or troubleshoot. So here you can see the actual 7-inch AX5000 head unit installed. Like I said, it has a 7-inch display, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Bluetooth, and the steering wheel controls were retained using the PAC-Audio interface. Moving on to the front speakers. On the upper dash, the factory speakers were replaced with the Hybrid Audio Technologies tweeter. Here you can see I actually laser cut a template, which is an exact copy of the factory speaker, but now accommodates a hole which will allow installation of the Hybrid Audio Technologies tweeter. Here you can see it's like perfect fitment. It even has the cutouts to go around the factory grooves for a very OEM finish. And then moving on to the lower dash, where you can see the actual Hybrid Audio 6.5-inch component. The whole enclosure was drilled and tapped with 8/32 stainless steel hardware for a very, very secure fit and finish, and it can be removed many times without any type of issues or worrying about the plastic breaking or not fitting. Moving on to the rear soundbar speakers, here you can see I used expanded PVC to make adapters to accommodate the Hybrid Audio Technologies 6.5-inch coax speakers. Here you can see everything mounted with stainless steel hardware in the factory location, and the factory grill goes right back over it, so you don't really see anything for a very factory finish. Now moving on to getting the wires ran, here you can see underneath the hood we have oxygen-free copper from Stinger, which was wrapped in Tech Flex, also shrink wrapped and labeled. Next to the battery we have a Markland Designs fuse holder mount, which allows accommodation for a Stinger fuse holder to be mounted in a very secure manner using 8/32 hardware. One of the good things about it, everything is serviceable, everything is labeled, so in case the Jeep ever needs to be serviced, whether at Jeep or another shop, it can be easily identified. Underneath the passenger seat, the amplifier was mounted to a 1/2-inch piece of expanded PVC that was routed on the router table. The expanded PVC plate is bolted to the vehicle using a threaded nutsert, using 1/4-20 bolts for a very, very sturdy and secure manner, and can be easily removed without damaging the actual vehicle. So not only would the expanded PVC plate use stainless steel hardware, but even the amplifiers as well are always mounted with 8/32 hardware that are threaded inserts into the PVC for a very, very factory secure manner. And then all the wiring also had wire ferrules and covered in Tech Flex. The subwoofer used in this particular build is the new Hybrid Audio Technologies Unity 10S for shallow, which is a slim, shallow-mounted subwoofer which works in very small enclosures but still puts out a great amount of output, which was perfect for her needs, as she did want an enclosure that could give her a nice amount of bass but didn't take up much space and could be easily removable. So here's the actual enclosure that I built. It will be covered in carpet, as she did want something that's real kind of low-key and incognito, but I did incorporate an actual Jeep logo into it for a nice custom look. Moving on to the legs of the enclosure, which was a concern of mine as she does go off-roading and it might get wet. So I made actual stacked pieces of acrylic which serve as the feet for the enclosure. So here you can see the test pieces I made to make sure everything was lining up properly, and then I went on to actually stack the layers of acrylic and then thread the actual feet into the enclosure using 8/32 hardware, which was threaded. Once the acrylic was dry, it was sanded and scuffed, shot with a texture coat, and then painted in Landau black. Here you can see the enclosure wrapped in carpet, and the legs are attached with 8/32 stainless steel hardware that is threaded into the actual wood with threaded inserts. So here you can see the enclosure flipped over. It hovers about 2 inches above the floor, which gives a nice room for the woofer to load off the floor of the Jeep and give a really good sound. Here you can see the enclosure in the Jeep in the corner next to her bags and other things. Very out of the way, very kind of stealth, but also kind of custom look. So she was satisfied with the sound and loved the bass output. So that was it. And again, thanks for watching this slideshow video, and have a great day.